real software when we click, wanna learn.
Hello everyone, my name is Gregorio Rojas. I am the co-founder and head instructor at Sabio, a developer bootcamp based out of Los Angeles and Irvine, California. This is another video in our series of videos of Imposter Syndrome and how to inoculate yourself against it. This video is going to be about something that actually happened to me. And the thread coming through all these videos right now is asking questions to inoculate yourself against imposter syndrome. In English, in plain English, asking questions is an empowering thing. Asking questions is how you learn. And in asking questions, you will learn that, you know what, these feelings that might creep in, these thoughts of these self-doubt that might creep in about how you are not necessarily in the right room, that you don't belong in this right room, you don't deserve to be in this room, that the people in the room are somehow smarter and more skilled than you, right? These things are just false, right? And it's in the imposter syndrome that will infiltrate and get a hold of you, and it's going to be real hard to shake it. So one way to shake it is to ask questions. Ask questions at the time where it seems scariest and hardest to do so. And so I found myself in a conference room with a number of people. There was a lot of people in this conference room, and we were talking about some really technical stuff. It was at a company that I was still kind of, it was a really big company. So to say that I was new to it is not appropriate. It's that I was new to the subject material, the particular area that we were treading into. It was new to me. So I didn't know everything that was being discussed. But there was this one guy who was talking about a particular thing that needed to get done. And like a lot of people in tech, very arrogant about it, very kind of matter of fact, arrogant, pompous, just not a nice person. It was one of these people that just would, walk around the office pounding his chest the whole day about how awesome he was and his team, etc. But now I had the great fortune of having to work with him. And I needed to work with him. I needed him to share some information. I needed to be able to go learn from him a little bit so that we could do a particular thing. And we were going through some stuff, and there was a part of the conversation that I didn't understand. And I knew that I and my team needed to understand this so that we can go do our jobs. And in him explaining it, he kept explaining it in a really abstract manner, either using really big words or really small words. Which, by the way, is a good sign that, if you know something really well, you can explain it in very simple terms. And granted, you could always explain them in very complicated terms. But if someone's asking you to clear something up, you can break it down and make it really simple for them if you understand the thing. And so this guy would just never speak that way. This guy would never speak in English. He'd always, again, throw out the biggest words, the most number of acronyms about the things that we were talking about all the time. And so I couldn't with him anymore. And I can tell you it was more of a sense of frustration with him. That's where this came from. I was kind of frustrated having to listen to him again and sit there just pounding his chest like, enough, dude. Like, can we just please talk about what we need to talk about so we can go be productive? And so I asked him, look, can you just please explain that to me? Because I don't understand. I don't get it. And we went back and forth about this. In fact, this video is probably going to be meaningfully longer than the length of the conversation that I had with him, because we went back and forth. I asked him very clearly, in the nicest of ways that I could, just flat out laid out there, I don't know, man. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, you really just need to explain this to me. And he tried to answer, but again, he would try to answer in an inappropriate way. Like, you're not helping out. You're not giving clarity. You're not pointing to the things that need to be pointed to so that me and my team can go and do this stuff. So we could do our part. And finally, look, I came down to like, I need you to explain it to me in English. Finally, I know that we got to B from A. That's great. And I know that once we get to C, we're going to go to D. Wonderful. But how do we go from B to C? Just tell me in English. I need to know in English because, we need to go and do this. And throughout this whole thing, again, this happened real quick. Throughout this whole thing, I can see the people sitting next to me like, yeah, good thing you asked, Gregorio, because shoot, we don't know. And so finally, he just had to confess, I don't know. He didn't know. He was acting like he knew. He was acting like when we left the room, he was going to go and do what he needed to do. And, like we needed to keep up with him. But the reality was that he had no idea. Like as soon as he left the room, he was going to go run to someone's desk and plead with someone to give them some time so that he could try to understand what he needed to do. Because, he didn't know. But he was making it seem like he did. And because, when you get into these situations, people like to play a lot of games, like to play a lot of politics. And God forbid that someone says, I don't know. And that's where, again, the power of asking this question and saying, hey, putting yourself out there. I don't know. You need to tell me. You will find it in software development. If you get in almost any team, you ask that question amongst your colleagues, there's two types of people that you're going to ask that question to. And you're going to find out real quick after you ask this question. Are they good people or are they not? And, the good people are going to break it down for you if they know the answer. The good people will be like, dude, I don't know. We got to go find that out. And then there's the not so good people where they try to make you feel small and try to dodge and dance. And the people that dodge and dance, you can actually just put them in their spot and tell them, you just need to tell me because you clearly seem to know you don't know, but you don't know, right? So ask these questions. Intimidating, potentially in a room full of your colleagues, people who you might think no, people who you might not want to seem like, hey, I don't know this stuff. I'm that guy that doesn't know this stuff. But again, coming from a non-technical degree, coming from, not computer science, I just don't know, like these acronyms, did you go over this stuff? In one of these classes that I didn't take? And am I going to just, out myself as one of these people who shouldn't be in this room? No, it's okay not to know something. Right. So I can tell you now, like 20 years experience in software, you're not going to know everything. And the last thing that I want you to do is to pretend like you do. Ask these questions, these tough questions in a room full of people so that you can help other people discover the truth about what it is that we need to do and how we need to do it. And so that the other people who are, working against you and working against the team for their own benefit, so that we can start teaching them also that it doesn't need to be that way. We're all in the same team and we're all about learning and doing things that whatever the company needs to do at that time, right? And that helps everybody, you help everyone with the feeling of like, we're all part of a team, we're all belong here and we're all doing good work, for whatever it is that you're doing that day on your team. All right, so ask questions, empower yourself with knowledge. And that is how you are going to combat the imposter syndrome.
When you leave here, anything is possible. When you come here, you want to stay.